Welcome back to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Premier League predictions. Obviously, game week 14, the second season of me doing this, obviously. Hence why they always say season 2 at the end, especially this year, of course. But yeah, some decent games this weekend. I like how they've done it this weekend, the fixtures. I do like a 7:45 on a Saturday. Whoever it is, I do tend to like them games. And then obviously they've got 2 on Sunday, which means I can do the Premier League review on Sunday night. So that helps as well. Because usually I don't mind the Monday night games, but it can be difficult for me to try and get a review out to all the games ASAP. So yeah, let's get into it. So obviously the first game of the weekend, 12:30 tomorrow, and that is obviously Leicester City taking on Manchester City. And yeah, it should be a decent game. Leicester obviously did get that emphatic win when it wants to load. There you go. Leicester did get that emphatic win against Wolves away. Midlands derby, obviously not one of the biggest Midlands derbies, but still is a derby. Still to get good points against your rivals nearby, especially with the position Leicester are in as well. So yeah, as for Man City, obviously in Europe, got away with one, I would say, against Borussia Dortmund. Haven't scored in their last 3 away games. Obviously Liverpool, well, in order, Copenhagen 0-0, Liverpool lost 1-0, and then obviously the Dortmund 0-0. How do I see this one going? I think it's going to be a really tight game. I don't think this is going to be where Man City, walk all over Leicester. I also think with Leicester getting a little bit of form, it will be a tight game. I still believe Man City will win, but I do believe it will be a tight one. I've gone for a Leicester City 0, Manchester City 1. I think it's going to be very tight. Obviously, the last 12:30 kickoff was obviously the kickoff last week as well. And that was obviously 1-0 as well. But that was to the home side. This week, I'm going for a 1-0 to the away side. And that is obviously Man City in this one. So, yeah, that's my prediction for that. So, yeah, moving on to the next game, which is Bournemouth taking on Tottenham. A lot of 3 o'clock games in the UK, which is usually the case. Bournemouth taking on Tottenham. It's going to be interesting tomorrow because I am actually going to be with my auntie, who is a Tottenham fan. She follows Luton as well. She's been on the channel a couple of times. And obviously Luton play at the same time. We will watch Luton, of course. But yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one due to her, due to my predictions anyway. Bournemouth, obviously, they did take their first defeat under Gary O'Neill at home. Who was it against again? I can't even remember who it was against. And then obviously they did lose to West Ham as well, 2-0. Got that game spot on. Tottenham, obviously, had that game in midweek that, offside, a lot of controversy with that goal. I need to see it again, to be honest. I've only seen it once. Even my dad was proper raging about it, and he don't really watch Champions League like that. He don't really care. But he was like, that was ridiculous. Just think if it happened to Liverpool, I went to him. I haven't seen it properly. Do you know what I mean? Need to see it again. How do I see this one going? I think it is going to be a tight game. Another tight game in this Premier League game week, especially with it being at Bournemouth. Their ground, like I always say, is very similar to Luton. I think it's like 1,000 bigger maybe, or a few hundred seats or something. So it's going to be tight. Bournemouth, obviously, like I say, they have had an overall good start under Gary O'Neill. So it's going to be an interesting one. And Tottenham, I just think after that midweek game, they'll be screwing and very angry from that, because it's going to come down to the last game in that group. Obviously, in the Champions League, and every team can still go through in that group, I believe. So, yeah, I'm going to say it's a tight game. I'm going to go with the exact same scoreline that Hanno's gone with. And that is obviously a 2-1 to Tottenham. That is what I've gone with for this game as well. So, yeah, that's my prediction for that. Quite a lot of good 3 o'clock games in the UK as well tomorrow. This is another one coming up. Brighton and Hove Albion taking on Chelsea. Graham Potter, obviously, up against a former team that he managed. Brighton have... it could be better, I would say. The start could be better under this manager. But, you know, it hasn't really been too great. It's been good results like Liverpool away. And lost to Tottenham at home, which there's no shame in that. But I just felt they had some good chances that they could have, you know, put in that game. 2-0 away to Brentford. Don't get me wrong, Raya was very good, but it was a little bit disappointing. You know, there's been a lot of games from them where I feel they could have done a lot better. They're taking on the Chelsea side, who have been grinding out results and getting really emphatic scorelines at some points under Graham Potter. How do I see this one going? I think Chelsea win this by a 2-goal margin, to be quite honest here. I'm going to go over Brighton 0. This might shock a few people, but I'm going to go over Brighton 0, Chelsea 2. I think Chelsea win it by a 2-goal margin, like I said. So, yeah. Hanno's gone City 3-1. Fair enough. Chris says, afternoon, mate. Hope you're well. I'm decent, thanks. I hope you're well. Hanno said, are you tired? No, I'm not tired, mate. It's just, well, I sort of am, but not really. It's just my stepdad's sleeping. But he should be up in the next half an hour. Well, just under now, because he got work tonight. So, 3-0 Man City, fair enough. 2-0 Tottenham, fair enough. And then Brighton 1-1. Going to be tough, but we'll win 2. Chelsea maybe 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0 for that game. Big up Wolfie says, Sue. But yeah, moving on to the next game. Even see what I mean with these 3 o'clock games. Even this is a decent game, and that is Crystal Palace taking on Southampton. How do I see this one going? Crystal Palace, you know, they have been a bit hit and miss. The position they're in is, I don't even know where they are, 13th. You know, Vieira did come out and say they are going to be fighting for, you know, top half of the table. But they have been very inconsistent at times. I do think it's Gallagher's been a big miss, and also the fact they do have quite a young squad, so they're still, you know, learning their ways in that sense. They're at home taking on Southampton, who obviously have a lot of confidence after getting that draw against Arsenal. But Southampton, you already know for me, they're one of them teams. I predict them to win, they lose. Predict them to lost, they got some other result. Just with the fact that it's out Selhurst Park, I do think Palace will win this. But saying that, they'll probably go on to lose now, because you know what it's like when I predict Southampton results. I'm going to go with a Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1 in this one. So yeah, that's my prediction. Chris has gone with the exact same. 1-1 draw. Yep, that's very likely. I predict 7-0 games. 1-1 for Brighton versus Chelsea. So yeah, fair enough on that one. But moving on to the next game, 3 o'clock. Big up Lennon as well, says, yo, Dons to win 2-1 tomorrow. Who are you playing? But yeah, moving on to the next game, Brentford versus Wolves. Brentford, most of the time, have had some good results at home, bar like the Arsenal defeat. Other than that, I think most of the results they've had at home have been good. Taking on Wolves, who I'm still not convinced by them. Even with Costa in so far, he still hasn't really been overly great. You know, he had a good chance in their last game against Leicester to actually put them 1-0 up. But obviously that was, you know, he blew it, and then we all know what happened after that moment. Brentford at home, I can only see this going one way, and that's a Brentford win. As for a score prediction, I was thinking of 3-0. I was thinking bold, but I'm going to go over 2-0. I'm going to go over 2-0 to Brentford in this one. Cheltenham, fair enough. I don't really know how they're doing, but fair enough. Brentford 1-0 Wolves, fair enough. 2-1 Brentford says Hanno, and then 1-1 says Lennon. Fair enough. Different scores. Like it. Then moving on to the last game, 3 p.m. in the UK tomorrow. That is Newcastle United taking on Aston Villa. Newcastle, they've done well, of course, since a lot of pressure started to mount on Eddie Howe. They've started to get some really good results. 4-1 away against Fulham, who didn't lose before that at home. 5-1 against Brentford, who are no mugs. 2-1 last week against Tottenham away. Even though people might go, yeah, it's Tottenham, they're the history of bottling red-tear. Still to beat them away from home, I thought that was quite impressive, even though a lot of people did say 2-1 to Newcastle, except me and a few others. But yeah, Newcastle, obviously, like I said, since there's been a little pressure on Eddie Howe, he started doing well. Aston Villa, Unai Emery, could it be a new manager bounce? Obviously, they did get a 4-0 victory in their last game. Very emphatic, very good display, just dominant, rampant, whatever you want to call it, on Brentford. How do I see this one going? I actually see Unai Emery with the new manager bounce. I see him getting some sort of result. But Newcastle for me, it's hard to bet against them not losing or losing the game, shall I say. So for this one, I've gone with a draw. I've gone with a Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 1. And I rate Unai Emery, like I've said before. I think he's a very good manager. I think at Arsenal, I felt he was treated quite unfairly. Felt he deserved, more, that sort of thing. And look at everything he's done at Villarreal. Won the Europa League, got to the semi-finals, nearly beat Liverpool. Let's remember that in the second leg. So yeah, I'm going to go over 1-1. I'm going to go over 1-1, and I don't know Villa's results after this, but I believe come the end of the season, they'll be a lot higher up in the table. So yeah, 1-1 in this game. 4-0 Newcastle says Hanno. He's laughing, so I don't know if he's joking or being serious. Newcastle 2-0 Aston Villa as Emery doesn't take charge. Oh, really? Oh, he's not even in charge now. That's weird. What, is something going on with the visa or something? What the fuck? Right. Okay, then. Still going to go for 1-1. Still going to go for 1-1 anyway. So yeah, there is that. And then moving on to the 5:30 game tomorrow. I might just put it on in the background after the Luton game. I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, we'll be doing match reactions because it doesn't look like I am going. So yeah, Fulham taking on Everton. Fulham, obviously, they've only lost one game at home this season. And obviously, like I said earlier, and that was obviously to Newcastle. Everton they're very hit and miss away from home. They're very hit and miss overall. Like I say, I do think they'll stay up. I do think they'll be in the battle, but I think they'll stay up just to the simple fact. I think their defence is what will help them. With the likes of Connor Cody and Tarkowski together, I think that's a decent partnership for the loads at the bottom. Fulham at home. How do I see this one going? I'm going to back Fulham to win. I hope they win as well, of course. I'm going to go over 2-0. I could maybe see it being a 2-1, but I'm going to go over 2-0 to Fulham in this one. Go to say 4-0 just for the bants. I mean, Newcastle do have that capability of smashing teams at home. We've seen it, even away. But obviously this one is at home. But I just think Villa will have some sort of confidence. Even if Emery's not there, I think it might be similar to last week where it's going to be a turnaround. So they're just going to be well up for it like the players were in that game. So, yeah, I'm going to still back them to get a point away at St James's Park. Fulham 1-0 Everton, fair enough. When are you going on Sunderland's fans channel? A few days after the game. I don't know the date exactly. I can't remember it from the top of my head. But yeah, I'll let you lot know anyway and all that. 2-1 Fulham, fair enough. Like I say, I could see that, but I'm going to go over 2-0 to Fulham in this one. Moving on to the next one. Liverpool, obviously one of my teams, taking on Leeds. Very confident in this game. Leeds, I don't rate them whatsoever. Saying that, we do tend to have some really good games against them. I remember when they first come back up from the Championship after all that time. It's 4-3, first game of the season. I think there was there no, was that when there was no fan? I can't even remember. I can't even remember. But I remember last year, I think it was last year, beating 3-0 at their ground. Remember once I've done a watch along, we drew 1-1 to them. That was disappointing. That was at their ground as well. Remember last year, this was definitely last year, we slapped them 6-0. I remember watching that, and one of Harry's streams, he used to do watch alongs when he first started his channel, Brummy on Tour, but I just can't remember what stream he was doing. But I had the Liverpool game on in the background on my other device. I can't remember what it was at the time. And then I did do a match reaction to it. But yeah, I'm really confident. Leeds away from home. I think they've only got 2 points away from home, maybe even one. I know they definitely drew to Southampton away. I don't think they've won away from home, if I can remember from the top of my head. Yeah, I just don't rate him. And that's why I'm confident, despite how Liverpool have been, with the rocky sort of road this season. For formation, for lineup and all that, I'm not going to get up the thing because for some reason I can't find the formation that I would go with, and that is the 4-2-4. I feel we should definitely go with them, especially when we play at home. Away, I don't agree with it as much at times, but then again, it did work against Ajax. But then again, I'm not counting that as, we should use it every time away because Ajax ain't been great this season in the Champions League. So I'm going to go to 4-2-4. So I'm going to go Alisson in goal, obviously. Right back, I'm going to go Trent. The back two, I'm going to go Van Dijk and Gomez. Left back, I'm going to go Robbo. I'm hearing Thiago's back and Henderson's injury is not as bad as it seems. So that's good to hear, of course. So I'm going to go Henderson and Thiago in that midfield. I feel Fabinho needs to be dropped. And then the 4, I'm going to go with Nunes on the left sort of side because we know he can play on that side. I'm going to go Firmino and Salah through the middle. And then I'm going to go Harvey Elliott on the right. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. As for my score prediction, like I say, I'm feeling very confident. I don't rate Leeds. Hopefully this is not a jinx, but I just don't rate them. They have got players that can hurt us, like Sinistera, Aronson, Bamford. But I just think there's a lot of pressure starting to mount on their manager. He could be the next manager to be sacked, to be quite honest with you. Maybe after this game, but then again, I think that would be a little bit stupid at the same time because away at Anfield, despite how Liverpool have been, teams don't even get stuff there now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go over 3-0 Liverpool. I think it's gonna be easy, honestly. I think it's gonna be the exact same score it was against Ajax. And Liverpool have a habit of doing that this season, I think it's only happened once, but getting the same result twice in a row. Beat Man City 1-0, then beat West Ham 1-0 in a row. So, 1-0 back-to-back, sorry. So, yeah, I'm going to go over 3-0. I'm going to go over 3-0 in that one. Please, Leeds, just one more time. 3-0. You can't say Liverpool. You can't say that. No way, mate. Liverpool 4-0 Leeds. Leeds are crap. Yeah, exactly. My lineup doesn't change. Alisson, Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson, Elliott. Fair enough. 4-2-4 only works if Liverpool has pace up front. No, I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind playing it at home, but sometimes away, I'm not going to say, we should play it now because it worked against Ajax. Do you know what I mean? They've been shocking in Champions League. For their standards, they've been shocking. They beat Rangers, but who cares? Do you know what I mean? Other than that, they got pumped to Napoli away. Yeah, so did we. But I'm not sitting there going, we're doing great in Champions League. We do better in it than the league, but still, we're not doing great in it. Let's be real. Usually we're top spot quite comfortably. Let's be real. Look at last year, 6 out of 6. Do you know what I mean? So there you go with that. But moving on to the next game, the Sunday games. Like I say, I like how they've done all the fixtures. I don't mind a 7:45 on a Saturday, and then I can do the Prem review later on. Like I said, I don't mind Monday night games, but it's just annoying when I want to do the review and that sort of thing. So I like that there's 2 on Sunday and then none after, obviously. And the first game is obviously at 2 p.m. In the UK, and that is Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Obviously, 2 massive clubs, as we know. Nottingham Forest can actually do a job on them. I remember that crazy game in the FA Cup with 4-2. And then obviously they beat them last year 1-0 in the FA Cup. But them games were at Forest. Arsenal, a loss was coming at some point, especially with, the way they were getting sort of lucky with results. And it could have been a lot more yesterday, as we know. See, PSV got 3 goals disallowed. So, yeah, and Arsenal were just getting dominated, especially in that second half. They were getting dominated. Nketiah is shit, man. He's shit. I see a couple people defending him. He is fucking shit, mate. Honestly, I don't even like to swear like that, but he is terrible. I wouldn't even take him at Luton, mate. He is useless. He is flipping useless. Honestly, I don't understand people trying I can't believe it. I'm not even an Arsenal fan, and it annoys me. People actually think this guy's good. Delusional, mate. Championship level at best. Seriously. Like, if you're talking about an up and coming player at Arsenal, it should be Balogun. I know he's not quite there now. He's out on loan, I think. At Middlesbrough? Is he still there? I can't remember, but he's out on loan somewhere. You got to be talking about him. If you talk about someone upcoming, Nketiah is useless, absolutely useless. But yeah, taking on Forest, who obviously did get that win against Liverpool, will have confidence from that. Arsenal, I just think with them being at home, they'll win this game, and they'll stay top of the league again. If it's at Forest, I could see them maybe losing this one. But I just think with it being at Arsenal, I think they'll narrowly win. I think it'll be one of them famous scores for Arsenal, and you know what them scores are. Arsenal 1, Nottingham Forest 0. There you go. Arsenal 3-0, Nottingham Forest. They beat Rangers, who cares? Exactly, though. They're shit, mate. Like, they're not a Champions League side. Like, I said that from time, even before we slapped them, I said that. I knew they're not good. Yeah, bring good atmosphere and that, but players are not good enough. Europa League at best, well, you got to say they're a Europa League team because they did get to the final, but not nowhere near. Same as Celtic. Nah, mate, don't care about their fan base. Care about their players on the pitch and their shit, mate. End of story. Well, I don't care actually. I don't support them, but you know what I mean. Forest. Just wish it was at Forest. 2-2, maybe 2-1 win. Old Tyler was mad. Yeah, trust me. Kept get destroyed in League 2. He's fucking terrible. Manchester United 1-1. West Ham, I'm off to work now, mate. Great stream as always. Big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Obviously, I'll do my prediction for that in a minute. But yeah, 1-0 Arsenal for me. Famous 1-0. And then moving on to the last game, which, like Chris says there, that is Manchester United versus West Ham United. Now, I do remember watching this game a couple of times in previous years, and West Ham do actually get robbed. I remember when United won 3-1 and that Pogba goal, the ball went out before, and they tried saying it didn't. That was bullcrap. That actually annoyed me, that. Because it's Man United as well. They did get... I don't even pay attention to them in Europe, so I might be wrong, but I thought they won 3-0 yesterday against Sheriff. The highlight of that game was Anthony doing that thing. I don't really think it was that bad what he's doing. I just think the pass after is what made it look like stupid. Because if he'd done that and pulled that pass off, everyone would be creaming. People were crying. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Ridiculous, mate. It's not illegal. It's not illegal, is it? He done that against Chelsea. No one was saying it. All right, didn't do this fidget spinner spin, but he's still done showboating like that. No one said anything. Ronaldo used to do it when he first come in the Premier League. No one said shit about that, did they? But there you go. Taking on, like I said, obviously, I think it's 3-0. I know Rashford scored. Ronaldo scored as well. I know that. Don't know who scored the other goal. Can't remember. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to them in Europe. I watch Arsenal and West Ham more when I can be asked because, my team's not in them competitions. So I don't really care at the same time. But it will be interesting when the Champions League sides when it's officially confirmed, every single one that is going down, it will be interesting then, the Europa League, I'll tell you that. I think sides drop from Europa League to conference as well, but I don't really know who's dropping. But yeah, obviously I won't be as good anyway in that sense. But yeah, taking on West Ham, who did get was it a 1-0 in the end? So I mean, I don't really look at watching games, to be fair. How do I see this one going? I think the last time West Ham won there was a 1-0 in the FA Cup, I believe it was, or League Cup 1 or 2. I just think United are on good form at the moment. West Ham are starting to kick back into things. If this was at West Ham, I would maybe back them to get some sort of result, but I just think with it being at Old Trafford, what I've seen in the past, I'm going to go over 2-1. I'm going to go over 2-1 to United in this one. So that is my predictions done. Enjoy work, 2-0 Man U. That's fair enough. It's a good manager, but overplay some players. Yep. But yeah, they're all my predictions. So let's run through them, and then obviously we calculate what the table looks like. Leicester City 0, Manchester City 1, AFC Bournemouth 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1, Brentford 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Newcastle United 1, Aston Villa 1, Fulham 2, Everton 0, Liverpool 3, Leeds 0. Yep, I said that right. Arsenal 1, Nottingham Forest 0, and then Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1. So yeah, let's calculate what the table would look like. So obviously Arsenal would still be top, 2 points clear. Top 3 would be how it is still. Chelsea would climb up to 4th. United would climb up to 5th. Newcastle would drop down to 6th, but that's still, a good position. Fulham would still be 7th. Liverpool would still be 8th, despite that result. Brentford would be 9th. Palace would be 10th. Brighton would be 11th. West Ham would be 12th. Everton would be 13th. Aston Villa would be 14th. Bournemouth would sort of drop down, I believe, to 15th. Southampton 16th. Leicester would still be above the relegation zone. And then the bottom 3, Leeds would actually start to get in there, if they're not already. I can't even remember, people. I'm not going to lie. And then the bottom 2 would remain the same, with Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Wolves having a +1 better goal difference in that sense. But yeah, the bottom 3 would be on 9 points. That's pretty mad, that. But yeah, that's what the table would look like if all the results go the way I think they will. So yeah, that is that. That is my Premier League predictions for Game Week 14. I got a few 1 points last week. The West Ham game did actually help me a little bit. So I got 3 points from that with the predictions that I do with my mates. But let's see how we do this week in that. But yeah, that is that. That is that. Just like that. Fairly quick, one. But these tend to be, especially now that I just do predictions. Watch-alongs this weekend. Hanno's asking. I don't know. It's difficult because tomorrow I'm celebrating my birthday with my auntie and that. Like I said, there'll be a match reaction to Luton. Me and my dad might do a joint one, depending on the result. I'll do it either way, but just, yeah. I was going to do Leicester Man City, but I won't be able to do that now. I'm just having a look at the games quickly. Liverpool, I don't even know if I'll be able to do that, unfortunately, because I think we might be staying there. But I'm not even sure yet. I'm not even sure. I might just try and do one on Sunday. I don't know if to do Arsenal, Forest, or Man United, West Ham. I'll see. But I'll try and do one on Sunday because tomorrow's not looking likely. Liverpool probably won't do a match reaction. I'll probably just wait until the Premier League review the next day, I guess. But yeah, I'll probably do one to one of the games on Sunday. That's what I'm thinking. I just don't know what game yet. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. what goes on with that really. But yeah, that is that. Obviously, I will be live again at 6 p.m. For the Hatter Show. Me and my dad be rewinding that shite against Watford in the derby. Apparently, some of our players are still not feeling great, so God knows who's going to play in the lineup tomorrow in that game. As for that, obviously, then we'll preview Sunderland. Like I said, don't even know who I'm going to go with because I don't know who's available. And then obviously, yeah, that is that. So yeah, we'll be back again at 6 p.m. For that. So yeah, hopefully come and join us if you can. Be much appreciated. And yeah, I know a lot of people watch this on playback as well, so big up everyone that does. Streams hit 12 likes so far. Please do smash a like if you haven't already, and if you're watching on playback. Any new subscribers? Probably not. Oh no, there actually has been one. So big up yourself, whoever that was. The only reason I said probably not is because not a lot of people really tuned into this one. As of yet, like I say, I know it goes. A lot of people watch it back on playback. So big up everyone that does that. Big up everyone that's been in the chat already. And yeah, like I said, don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Share the channel as well. And yeah, if you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description. Turn on the notification bell as well so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. And yeah, subscribe to my other channel, T-Boys TV Extra. Hanno's doing a good job on there. Ooh, just made my finger click then. But yeah, all of that. Turn on the notification bell for that as well. And like I said, I will see you at 6 p.m. for the Hatter Show. Yeah, 1.36k has been hit, getting close. Yeah, man. Yeah, big up everyone, man. Big up everyone. But yeah, like I say, I'll try and do a watch along to a game on Sunday. I just don't know what game yet. I don't know what game. I don't know. I'll see. I might even do a community post and just see what you lot say. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do Liverpool. So yeah, or if I do, I'll be behind, and I don't know if my aunties want to be on. Well, one of them won't mind. I just don't know if the other one. And you know, there'll be a cat there. There'll be my cousin who's young. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'll probably just do one of the games on Sunday. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, all of that, and I'll see you at 6 p.m. Stay safe, take care, and peace.